Once your child has successfully logged into their email, you can get directly into Google Classroom by clicking on the 9 little squares in the top right corner, and in there you will see all the linked apps that are provided with the CFBL email address, and one of them here is Classroom. So your child will click on Classroom. So they will click on click on the 3 little dots, click on Classroom, and the very first time they connect to Classroom, they'll be asked to go through a little identification process. So in this case, I'm a student. And then they will have to join their classrooms. Now, most of the students in CFBL have already joined the classrooms, but let me just show you that there are 2 ways for this to be done. The first way is if the teacher has given the students a code, what they have to do is in their Google Classroom, they click on the big plus in the top right corner, which is the Join Class button, and they then type in the class code. Top right corner, hit the Join button, and Jean-Pierre Dupont will see that he has now joined Mr. Benjamin's 6A ICT class. So there's the Google Classroom for 6A Group 1. They can see very clearly that it's Mr. Benjamin's. Now, just to give you a little bit of navigation around the Google Classroom, in the top left corner, where you see the 6A Group 1, the 3 little lines on the left, if they click on that, it'll take them back to classes. And classes is their starting point for all their Google Classrooms. So in this window here, you can only see the 6A Group 1, because that's the only class that Jean-Pierre Dupont has joined. But your kids will see 4, 5, 6, 7 different Google Classrooms. Each teacher will have set this up with an image, with their name and a clear description of the classroom. So this is the initial Google Classroom window. For your children to access the Google Classroom, they identify the one they want to access, and they go and they click on the name, and that will take them into the classroom. So once they're in the classroom, if you look at the top, there are 3 main links. There is something called Stream, there is Classwork, and there's People. Classwork is where they see all the work that has to be done, and Stream is where they can see each message as it's posted. So if the teacher creates a new assignment, a new job for them to do, they will see it initially here. But Classwork is the main area where they go and see the assignments that have been set by the teachers. And what we can see here inside Classwork for 6A Group 1 is that there is an exercise called Spam. So you'll have the name of the assignment on the left, and on the right hand side, teachers can choose whether to give a due date or not. So in this case, Mr. Benjamin set a due date of the 17th of September for this specific assignment. Now, if we go and click on the assignment, it will give more details, and we can go down to View Assignment, and you can see exactly what has to be done. Now, in the top right-hand corner here, the students can add or create a Google Doc, or a Google Slide, a Google Sheet, or a Google Drawing. They can link to any files on their computer. They can link to any web page. They can add a file from their computer, or they can add a file from their Google Drive. So this is where the students can add work into the assignments that their teacher has given them. And here, the assignment that I gave my students was that I want them to place an image of Spam on a Google document. I can also see very clearly that this assignment is worth 100 points. Each teacher will decide how much or how many points each assignment is worth. Some of them won't be worth any points, but may work towards a competence. We can see also that it's due on the 17th of September. So in this case, if I was the students and I had to follow what was said here, I would need to go and add a Google Doc. So I'm creating a new Google Doc. And by creating it here inside Classroom, it stays inside the assignment. And what we're getting a little reminder of here is that you need to hand your work in when you've finished. So just like doing homework at home, when the student has finished doing their work, they give their exercise book to the teacher. When they finish doing their work in Google Classroom, they must remember to hand it in to the teacher. So I understand that. So the document has been created, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open the document because I need to work on it. So clicking on it will open the Google Doc directly. It's ready to work. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do the assignment. So I'm going to go to, I go to Google Images. Here I will look for an image of spam. So there's a picture of spam. Let's go and open that up. Lovely. I'm going to right click on that and copy the image. I'm then going to go back to my Google Doc, and I will so I'm going back to my Google Doc, and I will paste the image inside the Google Doc. So I now have a Google Doc with the assignment completed, and because it's a Google Doc, it automatically saves, so there's no save needed here, and I can close this. So what I now have to do, and this is a point that the pupils often forget, is if I finish my work, I need to hand it in. Until the student clicks the hand in button, the teacher does not get their work. So by clicking on this, the teacher will be given a notification that Jean-Pierre Dupont has handed in his spam assignment in 6A. So very important that the student hands in their spam assignment. So now we're going to take a look at what happens when the teacher returns the piece of work to Jean-Pierre. Here we are back inside Jean-Pierre's email, and what we can see at the top here is that Adam Benjamin from Classrooms, the class refers to Classroom, has marked the spam assignment. And if we click on that, we have a little email here via Google that says, "Dear Jean-Pierre, Adam Benjamin has returned your spam assignment and has given you an 80 out of 100. So Google Classroom allows the teacher to give the student marks directly on their work, and every time anything is turned in or returned via Google Classroom, both teacher and student will get both student and teacher will get an email telling them that something has been handed in or returned.